You know, the battle of nerves and political wits in Rivers State continues unabated. Let us tell you that the Court of Appeal in Abuja dismissed the order of the Rivers State High Court, which restrained Martins Amaewhule and 24 others from parading themselves as lawmakers of the State Assembly. The 25 parliamentarians had gone to court to urge the appellate court to stay the execution of the order. The appeal court, led by Justice Jimi Olukayode-Bada, held that the court in Rivers State lacked the jurisdiction to entertain the suit. As it stands, Sasokwo, you are wondering who blinks first.
Well, I think the Court of Appeal has already, given the first blink. Let me use that word, trying to, calm frayed nerves, because in Rivers, everybody was looking at the Court of Appeal and how the pendulum will swing.
Yeah.
And the Court of Appeal yesterday was, I think, they were very clear with what they wanted, or what the law actually says. And they actually, mentioned Section 272, Section 3, that gives the Federal High Court, that is the 1999 Constitution as amended, that gives the Federal High Court the exclusive powers for them to, adjudicate in things,
matters like this.
That pertains to House of Assembly. Okay. And so that was where that particular judgment actually came from, saying that the State High Court shouldn't have even entertained that matter in the first place. Okay. And even completely removed the ex parte order and said they lacked jurisdiction to have heard that matter.
And in law, I'm told that jurisdiction is key.
It's very key, So, but all in all, we just want to, because I know that the three lawmakers, led by Victor Okobo, they said they want to go to the Supreme Court, that they have some other things that they want, that even the 25 lawmakers had even vacated their seats in the first place.
Wow.
And it's still a matter, concerning how they defected from PDP to APC, that the matter is still there.
Yeah.
And that should have been the main thing that the Court of Appeal should have discussed. And I think even one of the lawmakers yesterday, the so-called G60 yesterday, actually said something about that.
The Federal House.
Yes. They said something about that too, that it should have been the seat itself. That should have been what the Court of Appeal...
defection should have been
the key thing. But now that the Court of Appeal has said that in the first place, that where that matter actually originated from lacked the jurisdiction.
Yeah.
It puts spade to whatever they are all saying, But I thank God we are going to, hear from the SAN, the SAN. I heard a couple of things. I actually, listened to some people this morning. And I think it's where we are going to ask him some of the questions, particularly in the instance that, okay, fine, if these people had even defected, what does the Constitution say about someone who is leaving the seat? Okay. And even someone who leaves the seat, if he moves away from party A to party B, somebody has to declare that seat vacant.
Yeah. He got to that seat by virtue of that party that took him there.
Yes, that party we understand that. But for somebody, because don't forget, there are like 25 of them.
Yeah.
Okay. So it means that somebody should have been there as a speaker to declare their seat vacant. So there's a lot of, constitutional interpretations that we need. And I think by the time they get to the Supreme Court is going to give us, a clearer picture of, how this can be interpreted.
Yeah. Paul, these are very interesting times.
Very interesting.
And politicians are making them so.
Exactly. And all of this is happening because of the feud between an estranged godfather and a disgruntled godson. That is what is making all of this to happen. Two gladiators. You see, I think politicians even have no respect for the judiciary.
You know, the Kenyans say, if a bee stings you, it does not mean you must go into the country and scatter all beehives.
But it looks like the bee has been scattered now. And well, we are waiting. We are actually waiting for the judiciary to sort out this issue. Now, those who are saying that the Court of Appeal should have talked about the substantive matter, which is about defection, I think they are in error. I'm not a lawyer, because the issue now is that court lacks jurisdiction. That's the opinion. That is the opinion of the Court of Appeal. That's what stands, except because the Supreme Court decides otherwise.
You know, sometimes, gentlemen, I wonder if lawyers don't see these things.
Interesting.
In order to inform their clients.
Interestingly, a lawyer came to see me today, and this is what we were discussing. Now, is it that lawyers don't see these things? You know, I also heard a lawyer who said, look, even when we tell politicians especially that, look, this thing cannot fly, say, please go. They keep telling them to do it. You understand? Maybe to keep their fans happy, you know, supporters happy, to see that they are actually doing something. Because sometimes, some of these cases, even those of us who are not learned, so to speak, you know, we are intelligent enough to know that, look, there's no merit in this matter.
Yeah.
So, but you still find lawyers, even senior advocates of Nigeria, going to, it's like you are tempting the judge.
Not to worry, we have a senior advocate. We are speaking with him next. So we'll turn over things to him.
Okay.
Because none of us here is a lawyer. So let's say good evening to Barrister Chino Obiago. Are you there? How do you do?
Hello, good evening. Yeah, I'm good. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you for having me.
Okay. So how do you weigh in regarding the Rivers debacle?
Well, I think the Court of Appeal was right to say that the jurisdiction to determine tenure, everything regarding Section 68, G, which talks about defection, when there's no division in your political party, that under Section 7273, as the Constitution has altered, that it is the Federal High Court that has that jurisdiction, not the State High Court. And of course, we all know the history of that amendment. It is simply to remove, we knew what happened in the past, where State High Courts danced to the tune of state executives. So it's taken away and conferred on the Federal High Court. So it's a jurisdictional issue, and the Court of Appeal arrived at that decision yesterday. And I think, in my own personal opinion, that is a correct decision of the court.
So we can say, Mr. Obiago, that the coming days will be very interesting ones for you and for me and for the entire country.
Well, I don't know about coming days. And I know that the judiciary has been on trial for a very long time. I mean, some of us who are in the justice sector will sometimes hide our transfer, but the provision to transfer to the court that had jurisdiction. The court, the law is there. And I think at the point, like my friend said in the studio, that it's late for the Supreme Court, if the matter goes to the Supreme Court, to lay this matter to rest, who has jurisdiction over Section 68G, which you know is about defection. When you defect to another party, other than the party that elected you, you have to show there is a division in that party or that you are sacked.
Exactly.
Suspended by the political party. So it's very clear that when you defect, in those circumstances, you lose your seat. But a lot of us, including people in civil society, has tried to stop that so that we can have some level of stability in our political party system. But the courts have not really wailed it. I mean, I remember even the current Senate president, when he defected from PDP to APC, These are things that, in the last regime, these are things that the courts need to stamp their feet, be consistent in their decision, so that, like my friend said, the politicians don't take court serious. It's the court that will make them to take us serious.
So sometimes I wonder if you were eavesdropping on what we said here. You know, sometimes lawyers, it appears lawyers will not tell their clients
the truth,
what lies ahead. I don't know. Or is it?
Lawyers are not pastors.
Okay.
So a lawyer set up a trade. I'm in my office now waiting for clients to come in. So a client comes in and you tell him, well, this may not fly, but you know, and they will tell you history of cases that are very impossible, yet they flew. And in practice, if you decline, you go to the next door.
That's what my friend.
So exactly. So sometimes what lawyers do is simply to satisfy the instruction of their clients. Although there are lawyers who will tell you, well, there's a limit to which they can do that if they think that instruction is immoral or that it is not politically possible. But remember that whatever happens, no matter how bad it, how do I say it? How unsuccessful a case may be, may pertain to be, it helps to expand the jurisprudence.
Exactly.
Because if this matter goes to Supreme Court will have an opportunity to write a textbook on this point.
Yeah.
So there's no bad case in the direct sense of it, because whatever case you bring to court helps to expand the jurisprudence. Yes.
All right. Quickly, let's look at this. It would appear that the sack of the lawmakers remains, even as the appeal court has nullified it. Or don't you think?
No. The court has said that vacated the order of the Lagos State High Court sacking them. So that has been done. Now, if you like, so this is the Speaker of the House that will declare the office vacant.
Okay then.
And they've done that, and they've gone to court to challenge it. And the court said, what the court said was wrong. In other words, it comes to status quo ante bullen. If they go to Supreme Court says so, then it becomes also the law.
Yeah.
Well, I think what they can do is, because didn't rule on the merit of the case, whether they return the office or not. The court simply said it's a question of jurisdiction.
Yeah.
Where you brought the case is a wrong place. So why can't you take the case to the right court and get what you want? Because it is clear. Why go to Supreme Court? Well, I don't know. I'm not in the matter.
Okay.
But I think the Court of Appeal simply said, you went to the wrong place. You would have gone to Federal High Court and not State High Court. And that was it. So there was no decision on the merits.
Okay, so you said something about speaker. Which of the speakers are you talking about? Is it the speaker for the 3 or the speaker for the 25?
Well, who has possession of the mess of the House is de facto the speaker.
Okay.
And we've seen that in many places. The courts have given decision about the issue of impeachment in the legislative houses from Edo State to Bayelsa and so on. So there are a lot of decisions on that. The question of who has the de facto control and who has the de facto majority members. And there are cases where even the legislative houses sat in hotels, insofar as they have the mess, because the mess is the symbol of authority of the house. But having said that, having said that, you can do whatever you want to do. If the court looks at it and said what he did, it was wrong, the court will nullify it. I mean, we know about Anambra State during the Obi and at the end of the day, after about 2 years, the court went and said, well, what you did in the hotel with the mess was a nullity. So the court have a final say on that point. So who is the right speaker in the Rivers State House Assembly? Well, it's the man who has the control of the mess, who is the de facto legislative power. But now Court of Appeal has said whatever they've done. So exactly. So they can't put something on nothing and expect it to stand.
Well, the Court of Appeal says that anything now that the 25, the Court of Appeal has given the 25 a clean bill of health. So can we now say that they are now in possession of the maize, or they were in possession of the maize?
Or for that matter, can they now resume
legislative duties?
I lost you for a while, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was saying that the Court of Appeal says that everything that was done in the past that nullified all the activities, okay?
Yeah.
Can we now say that they can go back and begin to do their legislative work?
Well, that's the implication. I've not read the ruling of the Justice, Honorable Justice Bada.
Okay.
Mm. Yeah, well, you are going to...
Mr. Obiagu.
Obiagu.
Yeah. For me, the more serious issue is how to guarantee the independence of the judiciary. How do you think the judiciary can win itself from the grip of politicians? I'm asking this question because we've seen this kind of thing happen over and over. You know, is this still there? Okay. Over and over. Mm. I expect that the judge of the High Court of Rivers should know that he has no jurisdiction.
He's still waiting.
Okay, still waiting. Okay, that he has no jurisdiction over that matter. We've seen the same thing happen in Kano when, jurisdictional issue, sometimes lawyers, your colleagues, you go to courts, you take the same matter to courts of coordinating the jurisdiction, and judges give conflicting orders.
Yeah.
So how do you think the judiciary can rescue itself from the grip of the shenanigans of politicians?
Especially because you said at the beginning that it would appear that the courts are on trial. Okay.
Well, listen, in every country, the courts and judiciary is always on trial. You saw what happened with the U.S. Supreme Court, where there's a division between the conservative and Democrats.
Mm. So, do you see this matter going to the apex court? By any chance?
No, it's going.
It has. Because
already, they said they're appealing.
Yeah, the other guys.
Okay, they're appealing.
They're going, yeah.
Mm. And you can only hope that after the apex court intervenes, it will be...
You know my worry. This apex court will definitely intervene in this matter.
Okay. Mr. Obiagu is back.
Okay.
Yeah, go on.
Yes. I was saying that that sometimes lawyers bring cases to the judges without telling them that a previous judgment has come from a court of coordinate jurisdiction. Mm. And if a judge does not have that information, how will the judge inform himself that he's, doing what is rascally? Because actually, he cannot give a judgment on a point for which a court of coordinate jurisdiction has given
in Rivers State.
Because he cannot sit on appeal. Mm. Well,
okay.
In Rivers State, what the Rivers State State High Court, what the State High Court Rivers State did was simply to interpret the law, and apparently, I'm not sure any of the lawyers. Am I?
Go on. Okay, I'm wondering what happens now, since the appellate court has given this pronouncement. The factional 3 members, what they had been doing, could we say they are legitimate?
That was why I was asking. Because he said it is only the person who is in possession of the maize.
Yeah.
Okay. So, for instance, I know the other 25, they've been going about their legislative duties, either inside or outside.
All right. Mr. Chino Obiagu, we have a network wahala, but you are back on air now. Are you there?
Yes, I'm back on air, yes.
Okay.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah. Quickly, let's bridge this one. With the appellate court ruling, what do you think happens to the factional members who had been at the helm of affairs in the state?
Well, but with the Supreme Court, with the Court of Appeal ruling, the 25 members that they nullified their expulsion goes back to the House. I mean, there's no doubt about that. Except if they go to Supreme Court and bring the application for stay of execution of the judgment of the Court of Appeal. Yeah, or if there's no appeal to Supreme Court and a stay of execution, the decision of the Court of Appeal is the final in this respect. And they go back to the House and continue. Now, if the other faction wants to take them out, they will simply do the right thing, go to the Federal High Court and decide in the matter. So
it's a battle royale. You remember I said the coming days will be very interesting ones.
I've always said that the incursion of politicians into judiciary has done us was
okay. It would appear we have lost the signals to Mr. Chino Obiago, SAN. But gentlemen, can we put on more of our journalistic caps and broach this subject matter?
Yeah.
You know, if there's going to be peace in this country, politicians would give us that peace. But if there's going to be the opposite of peace, it is still politicians.
Of course. So it is only when there can only be peace if we don't see politics as winner takes it all.
Yeah.
You understand?
A zero-sum game.
Exactly. Because if we continue to say, okay, it has to be me or no other person, we will continue to have this problem. You know, because we will continue to have the situation whereby both the executive, that is the politicians, would always infiltrate into the legislative arm and as well as the judiciary. At the end of the day, they will buy everybody. And everybody will just be looking like lame dogs. You know, so the thing is, we need to find a solution whereby the judiciary, that happens to be the last hope of the common man, is removed completely from the politicians. Yeah. Completely. If not, it will continue to have this problem.
You remember a former national security advisor who told a former president, Mr. President, this do by all means, you know, win by all means mantra will put us in trouble.
Yeah. But you see, you can't stop politicians from practicing their shenanigans. It goes with the territory.
They say you can't stop a rat from
it goes with the territory. And that is why we need strong institutions. Yeah. Institutions can rescue us from the games they are playing. Yeah. That is why you need, like we're talking about judiciary, for example. I'm still insisting that the judiciary must have a way to rescue itself from the politicians. Yeah. Apart from that, what about the state institutions? You know, when you have big men, you know, deciding, you know, making the institutions to be at the mercy of their whims and caprices, there is no way this country will make substantial progress. But when you have too many big men, but people come and go, politicians come and go, institutions will stay. Yeah. Somebody created EFCC. The person who created EFCC has left. I mean, but the EFCC is still existing. Yeah. So the EFCC must be stronger even than politicians, than even the man who created. That's what we're talking about. The same goes for every other institution.
So-called the EFCC has the primary duty of opening doors for any politician or politicians who want to. If it says, Oga, go back, that should be it.
Yes, that is the EFCC. Yes, the EFCC. You know, but sometimes
is it a laughing matter?
No, but
let me share this.
Matless joke now, matless laughter.
No, the thing is, they will definitely open doors. Yeah, their doors are always open. You know, but you know, EFCC will not take a case. They will not just open the door if somebody has not gone there to give petition.
But there's an ex-governor that the EFCC is not able to arrest now.
It's up to now.
The ex-governor is being protected by an incumbent governor.
You understand? So
the ex-governor is being protected by security men.
So the agencies have to be stronger. You know, I was even talking about the judiciary. If there's a way that we can make our judiciary not to be going cap in hand to go and be asking for money from, you know, the executive, you know, this thing about bringing budget for them to always defend themselves, you know, is a problem to me. If there's a way, when they say first line charge, don't even go to the executive at all. Straight to the judiciary, let them sort themselves out, and then let's see how it will
go. All right, folks.